I'm aware, of course, of these reports on social media about, whether the gun was in fact a gun. It's interesting. It's the very issue is for Ja, certainly in the first incident, was treating a gun as a toy.
He come from like a town with 3,000 people. Like, what? What y'all expect? Y'all what? Y'all gave him $200 million. I just said a town with 3,000 people. You expect him to be responsible?
So Lil Wayne recently spoke on the Ja Morant controversy. It's Asia Sky here for Hip Hop DX, and check this out. So Lil Wayne has defended Ja Morant after he was suspended for the second time this season for allegedly flashing a handgun on social media.
It doesn't seem like it's going to be just about Ja Morant. You want to make sure to send a message to the league itself. There's certain things that will and will not be tolerated. Can you speak to that at all?
Well, I think that's right, but I want to be careful only in that my job is to measure that individual's conduct in that moment, and I get a little nervous when people talk about sending a message, because sometimes it implies you may not are being fair to that individual player. But there's no question in this league that there's something called conduct.
In assessing what discipline is appropriate, if that's the case, we look at both the history of prior acts, but then we look at the individual player's history as well. And so and the seriousness, of course, of the conduct. So those are all things that get factored. It's not an exact science. It comes down to judgment at the end of the day on the part of me and my colleagues in the league office. In terms of the timing, we've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. I think since I was still asked about the situation, I would say we probably could have brought it to a head now, but we made the decision, and I believe the Players Association agrees with us, that it would be unfair to these players and these teams in the middle of the series to announce the results of that investigation. And given that we're, of course, in the off season, he has now been suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies indefinitely, and so nothing would have changed anyway in the next few weeks. It seemed better to park that at the moment, at least any public announcement. And my sense now is that shortly after the conclusion of the finals, we will announce the outcome of that investigation.
But first, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video.
Is the Ja Morant investigation over? We're just waiting for the finals to be over to announce the decision?
The latter. We are waiting for the finals to be over. I'm aware, of course, of these reports on social media about, whether the gun was in fact a gun. And so we haven't completely wrapped it up.
Does that matter, Commissioner, if that's a toy gun?
It's interesting. It's the very issue is for Ja, certainly in the first incident, was treating a gun as a toy. I mean, that's what we're talking about. And that's what I think the danger is to society, taking a gun, live streaming it, this is without getting into gun issues in terms of the propriety of owning guns and the use of guns. I think everyone agrees that gun safety is critically important and that guns aren't toys.
Lil Wayne appeared on the latest episode of the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and he was asked about his thoughts on Ja Morant's off-the-court behavior. And instead of rushing to judge Ja Morant, Wayne actually took some time to put himself in Ja's shoes, and he compared it to some things that he went through when he was a young artist coming up.
So the best I can do without them answering, before they answered that question, I told them where I was at with it. I said, so the best I could do is remember when I was younger, and my squad, y'all, my niggas around me, we at the age where they don't have money. I'm the one with the money. You know what I mean? And then I don't even know how much money I'll end up with, but I'm the one with some money in my pocket. I know I got a bright future. My homies, they ain't on payroll. They my homies. They live good when they with me. When I gotta go by stunning them and go to work and all that, they gotta go back to being who they gotta be. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say, they in them streets. And I was aware of that. So I say, so if I was going through something at that point in time, something public like what Slime going through, I said I could imagine the rebellious attitude I would have if my homies is egging that attitude on.
Wayne also went on to bring up a conversation that he had with Young Money artist Gutta Gutta about Ja Morant's behavior.
Y'all know that boy? Do y'all know that boy? Because I don't. I know him from dunking and jumping, and I only started knowing him when I started paying attention to him around his last year of college. He come from like a town with 3,000 people. Like, what? What y'all expect? Y'all what? Y'all gave him $200 million. I just said a town with 3,000 people. You expect him to be responsible? Now we tripping then. Yeah, now we tripping.
Tuesday, May 16th, Ja Morant issued a statement taking accountability for his actions. In the statement, Ja said, "I know I've disappointed a lot of people who have supported me. This is a journey and I recognize there is more work to do. My words may not mean much right now, but I take full accountability for my actions. I'm committed to continuing to work on myself." So what are your thoughts on what Lil Wayne said about the Ja Morant situation?